Friends, the editor of Dalit Voice, V.T. Rajshekar, has recently passed away. You know it very well that he worked in mainstream English newspaper for more than 2 decades with Deccan Herald, the Indian Express, and later he was fired by the Express around the 1980s, and he founded a fortnightly English magazine which was known as Dalit Voice, and through that journalism, through the platform of Dalit Voice, he has been able to raise the issues of Dalits, the backward caste, the religious minorities, Adivasis, like no other journalist of his time has done. He was a brave, he was a bold, he was a courageous editor, courageous journalist, and he had the bravery to speak truth to the power. But he has left with us a rich legacy of activist journalism, a rich legacy of critical scholarship from the Bahujan point of view, and I think journalists, scholars must read, must get inspirations from his works. As far as my association with Dalit Voice and V.T. Rajshekar is concerned, I must tell you that I have never met him in person. I have never heard him speak at any platform. However, I came to know about Dalit Voice long back, and if I could recall it correctly, the Dalit Voice copy was available at Khuda Bakhsh Library in Patna, and when I was doing my graduation at AN College in Patna, Anugrah Narayan College in Patna, I used to visit Khuda Bakhsh Library every day, and in the Curzon reading room sections, if I remember it correctly, the voice, the Dalit Voice was available. So I used to read some articles of Dalit Voice. Then I was at that time doing my graduations, and I was living in Sabzi Bagh area, and I was also working with an Urdu newspaper. Later, when I came to JNU, I saw the copies of Dalit Voice in JNU library, and one of our seniors in JNU is Dr. Umakant, who has done his PhD, and his research topic was human rights questions and Dalits in central Bihar in 1980s. He used to often make reference to V.T. Rajshekar, and he used to say that you read this book of V.T. Rajshekar and that book of V.T. Rajshekar. Whenever we used to discuss caste, Muslims, Dalit Bahujan unity and left politics, he often used to refer to V.T. Rajshekar. Friends, V.T. Rajshekar has written more than 100 books, and now there is a website dedicated to his writings and his books. I think it is called dalitvoice.net. My understanding about V.T. Rajshekar has been enriched by that website. So I congratulate those who have made the website. On the website, I think not all copies of the Dalit Voice are available. So I would like to make a request to those who are running the website that please ensure, please upload each and every word of V.T. Rajshekar. So friends, there were other factors which have contributed to my deepening understanding about VTR. Let me here recall the contribution of the late Professor MSS Pandian from Tamil Nadu. He joined JNU I think in 2008 and 9, and in 2009 I joined JNU as a MA student, and I was able to attend his classes, and MSS Pandian, after going through much difficulties, was able to get a course passed by the university, because there were many Brahminical forces which were not giving him a space to teach what he wanted to teach. And his paper, which I remember it, was named Intellectual History of the 19th century, and he taught I think 3 and 4 key figures, those belonging to the Dalit Bahujan traditions. Jyotiba Phule was there, Ambedkar was there, Periyar and Lohiya. So I attended that course, and through my teacher, Professor MSS Pandian, who later became my supervisor in MPhil, and during my PhD he was my supervisor, but he passed away I think in December 2014. So I was deprived of his intellectual companionship. So the Pandian, through his readings, through his class lecture, was able to bring Periyar to us. And when I started reading Periyar's writing, I realized that Periyar is such a powerful, important, critical thinker. Periyar has been largely ignored by the North Indian public spheres, and why he has been ignored, I think it is not very difficult to tell you the reason. Periyar was a rationalist, Periyar was a great radical, Periyar was a very great, very powerful critique of the caste system, the Brahminical social order, and I think it is because of his ideology, his bravery, his critique of the caste system, his support for the progressive ideas, his support for the rights of the women, and also other marginalized groups, that has made him unpopular among the intellectuals of the North Indians who are being backed up by the Brahminical forces. That is why he has not been taught the way he should have been taught, and I think that Periyar is one of the biggest, one of the most important thinkers, philosophers, activists of our time, but it is very sad that he has not been taught. But MSS Pandian, and I think I owe MSS Pandian to the fact that I was brought to Periyar's reading, and Periyar's writings, when he got disenchanted with Gandhi and Congress politics, and he has started self-respect movement in 1920s, in the late 1920s, he has started editing a magazine which is known as Revolt, and MSS Pandian gave the copies of the issues of the Periyar to us in JNU to review it, and I did one review of Periyar's writing of the Revolt, and MSS Pandian also gave us writings of the Marx, I think Jewish questions written by the Marx, where we try to compare Marx and Periyar's understanding. And Marx was basically, in Jewish question, he was basically trying to argue that how the state has depoliticized the social inequality and in the civil society in the name of giving political equality in the public domain. Marx is trying to say that in the name of the liberal a democracy or liberal institutions or maybe the republicanism, what is happening that the bourgeoisie revolutions is being glorified because it is giving equality, there is a political equality, everybody can go and vote. But the same bourgeoisie revolution has completely ignored the questions of caste based inequality, class based inequality, gender based inequality, which is very much operative in public domain, in the private domain. So the domain of private, the domain of what should I say, the family has been depoliticized by the bourgeoisie thinker. But Marx was very much critical of that, and basically M.S.S. Pandian was trying to argue that Periyar was also very critical of the inequality within the civil society. And Baba Saheb Ambedkar in 1955, when he was asked by the Voice of America that how do you look at Indian democracy, he said that democracy is not all about republicanism, democracy is not about adult franchise, democracy is not all about parliamentary system or presidential system. For Ambedkar, like Phule, like Periyar, the defining feature of democracy is what kind of social relationship is there. So the social relationship, the caste based inequalities, they are fundamentally against the democratic ethos, and that is why both Periyar and Phule, they were very critical of caste system, and Ambedkar has said that caste system is against democracy. So the basically the Dalit Bahujan traditions, like Marx, they were not I think ignorant of I think the inequality which is so inherent, which is so operative, which is so oppressive in the civil society and family sphere. And I think Marx in the Jewish question was pointing to that very fact. So when I was reading Periyar, I think I realized that why Periyar is so important, why Periyar is so critical. And when I started reading VTR, Rajshekar Reddy's article and his pieces, I found that he is deeply influenced by Periyar. I think he was very much influenced by Periyar in a sense that he was very bold, he was very critical of Brahminical order, he has great respect for the minority religion, he wanted to forge a great unity between the Dalits and the Muslims community and religious minorities, and he was for equality. V.T. Rajshekar, I think people often think that he is a Dalit because his newspaper and his magazine is named after Dalit voice. It is not like that. I think in 1980s when he had spent some time, 2 decades in the newspaper, he realized that how the newspaper is the place where Brahminical forces are very powerful, they are controlling, and he was completely sad to see that the mainstream Indian media, both right or left, they were all being hegemonized, they were all being run and controlled by the Brahminical forces, and that is why he became very disenchanted. V.T. Rajshekar was a Marxist, he worked among trade union workers and he was basically very much influenced by Marx, he was very close to Communist Party leaderships, and he thought this class struggle is the only way through which emancipations can be brought about. But later when Rajshekar found that caste based inequality is very much prevalent, he started rethinking about his own idea, and he started reading Phule, he started reading Ambedkar, he started reading Lohia, and his understanding underwent a change, and he believed that caste system is basically class struggle in India. So if you read this statement of V.T. Rajshekar, I don't think that V.T. Rajshekar was against Marxism. In fact, V.T. Rajshekar was redefining Marxism in Indian context. If you read Baba Saheb Ambedkar is also very critical of the parliamentary system or democratic system in Europe, and he is basically saying that in European system what has happened, that the class based inequalities were not paid attention, and that is why Ambedkar is saying that political equality is as important as social equality or economic equality. The point is that V.T. Rajshekar was very much I think influenced by Marxism, but in Indian context he also read He also got the insight from the Periyar, from the Phule, and he was also deeply influenced by theology of the oppressed from Islam, and he was a great admirer of Islam. And friends, he believed that Islam is the religion of the oppressed people. He said that the religion of Islam is not for the rich, but it is for the poor. It is a revolutionary religion, and throughout his life he started talking about, he said, he led movements that Dalit and Muslims should come together because they are brothers. He said Dalit and Muslims are brother because their lifestyle, their living style, their food habits are the same. And Muslims, he said that Muslims were largely converts from the Dalits. So he said that again the caste system, the social hierarchy, Dalits and Muslims should come together. But he was also very much frustrated that the leadership of the Muslims was not taking initiative to bring Dalit together. So the point is that V.T. Rajshekar is for Dalit and Muslims unity. V.T. Rajshekar is for unity of the oppressed, and V.T. Rajshekar is very bold, he is very critical, he is not looking at secularism and communalism in a binary way. He was very much critical of the fact that among the secular parties there are communalist forces. So I think the demise of V.T. Rajshekar is a sad moment for us, but we should also not forget that he has done his work. He has left rich legacy of Dalit and Bahujan thinking, progressive thinking, and it is our responsibility that we should read him, we should try to get insight from it, and we should try to carry forward his legacy. I should stop here, and I pay my deep respect to V.T. Rajshekar. Thank you very much.